Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the iBug Mac Training Program, Lesson 6, Week 7, for Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. We will be beginning our two-part series on Safari, but first, some iBug announcements. On tomorrow, or Wednesday, I believe we're having our Homeland Hangout Watch Party at 7 p.m. On Thursday, you can join us for Trekkie Talk, also at 7 p.m., discussing The Voyager. And on Friday, iBug Night at the Virtual Movies. You guessed it, at 7 p.m., at least for the pre-movie social time. The movie is at 8. I don't know what the feature is, but I'm sure we'll have a great time. And Mac and Talk is next Tuesday. So instead of, well, it
It's Things that the Lord made, and it's rated PG, 1 hour, 50 minutes.
All right. Thank you for that info. Yes, as I was saying, Mac and Talk is next Tuesday, April 28th. You'll just go there using the Mac and Talk link instead of the class link. And as always, every Monday, join us for iBug Buzz if you have questions about using your iPhone. And when we talk about the Mac, the iPhone always comes up too. So join us for that, and we might be able to help you out. I also want to remind everyone that we are still doing our iBug $500 raffle. If you buy one ticket for $10 or 6 tickets for $50, you get that many chances to enter, and there's a $500 gift certificate up for grabs to Amazon, Google, or Apple. And the winner will be announced at our iBug 15th anniversary celebration. And as always, for any announcements I missed or anything you would like more information on, just visit our website, ibugtoday.org. Now let's get into the class. Safari Part 1. This is going to really be a class to get all the preliminaries out of the way. They are still important preliminaries, but it's important to have a bit of a background and think about Safari settings and things before we actually go diving into the web or exploring the web. We'll go into VoiceOver and a couple of the categories in the VoiceOver utility, and then we'll go into Safari settings and talk a little bit about the Safari app layout. I'm going to turn on VoiceOver.
On.
And I'll press VO F8 for my VoiceOver utility.
Opening VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility window. Utility categories. Table. Row 1 of 12. General. Selected. Has keyboard focus.
The first one we are going into is navigation. I'll just press the letter N.
Navigation.
And I know we've talked about it in Mac and Talk on the email list. There's one important thing here. I've probably belabored, but let's go through these things in order, and then I'll get to that one thing. So let's VO right.
Initial position of VoiceOver cursor. Keyboard focused item. Initial position of VoiceOver cursor. Pop-up button.
And by the way, most of these are at their default values, and those default values are just fine. But the position of the VoiceOver cursor, is it going to be on the keyboard focused item? Or if you go into this pop-up,
Menu. 2 items. Check mark keyboard focused. First item in window.
the first item in the window.
Closed grouping behavior. Standard grouping behavior. Pop-up button.
Grouping behavior. This controls basically whether you use VO Shift down arrow, the interact command, to get into toolbars, scroll areas, and groups. You might think, oh, great, we could turn that off. And it might be nice not to have to press VO Shift down arrow. However, you will still need to interact in some tables, and if you have interacting off, then you'll have to VO arrow through a bunch of things just to get to what you want. For instance, all the toolbar buttons. I recommend leaving this at standard. Your other options are,
Menu, 4 items, check mark standard, bookend groups,
so it announces the start and end of groups.
announce groups,
Announces actually when you're inside the groups,
ignore groups,
or ignore would turn off interaction except inside of tables. Technically, I don't think you'd need to interact in tables, but if you wanted to get specific information, whatever, just leave it at standard and
Closing.
you should be good. Let's via right.
synchronize keyboard focus and voiceover cursor, checked, checkbox.
This is a big one, and this should be checked automatically. Like I said, synchronize keyboard focus and voiceover cursor will make it much easier when you are trying to enter information from like tabbing to the username and password field or entering information on the web. So definitely have that box checked via right.
Mouse pointer.
And finally, the biggie that we've talked about many times, or it seems like we've talked about many times, mouse pointer.
Ignores voiceover cursor, mouse pointer, pop-up button.
By default, it should be set to ignores. And VoiceOver Help today, as I was kind of refreshing my memory on some of these, did actually say that ignores is the default setting. So if that's the default setting, why does VoiceOver like to change it randomly to follows, sometimes for no apparent reason? It doesn't happen to everybody, but there are a couple of us where we have experienced it. When it's set to follows, you're going to have some problems using keyboard navigation in the menu bar. I like to use first letter navigation. That doesn't always work when it's set to follows. Also, an experience I had a few years ago, and I'm not sure if this has changed, but I don't see why it wouldn't have. When visiting the Amazon site, typing in a search and then trying to view the search results, I would get stuck in a modal or pop-up or whatever with information pertaining to only one result. I couldn't advance to the next result very easily. So that's my experience. Whenever anyone has any weird navigation issues, we always check to make sure, is the mouse pointer ignoring the voiceover cursor? And you want it set at ignores. So let's continue via right.
Allow cursor wrapping, unchecked, checkbox.
Allow cursor wrapping. While I enjoy wrapping using up and down, left and right arrows in menus, I don't necessarily want the cursor to wrap when I'm in a dialog or application window. If I check this box, I'll just show you what happens.
Checked, allow.
And meanwhile, we'll continue on.
Skip redundant labels, unchecked, checkbox.
Skip redundant labels. These are like labels that repeat. We could go ahead and turn it on.
Checked, skip redundant labels, checkbox.
I forget exactly how my personal voiceover preferences are set. So some of these I'll be saying, oh, I think I have this on, or I think I have it this way, but most of them I'm pretty sure about. Okay, let's via right.
Automatically interact when using tab key, checked, checkbox.
Automatically interact when using tab key. If you are going to use tab, then it's helpful to have it interact. Maybe you're trying to navigate up and down a list or something. More so on the web, it can be useful to have it interact when using tab. But again, these navigation settings are applicable to the web and they're kind of applicable all over your Mac. Let's continue via right.
Enable fast searching, unchecked, checkbox. Fast searching allows you to use a command key a letter to find the next item on the screen that begins with that letter.
I never gave that much effort to trying fast user searching. Maybe it's another great Mac feature I'm missing out on, but I don't know. I wasn't too impressed when I tried it, but maybe I need to try it more. Fast user searching.
Right command key, enable fast searching, dimmed, pop-up button.
And you can choose a key. So basically you press a key and then the letter of the alphabet of the item you think you're wanting to find on the screen.
Help button, close button.
Okay, so we went from help, and then our voiceover made a sound, and it went to close. If we VO left,
Help button.
if cursor wrapping was off, then we would have help and then that thunk sound to indicate that we were at the last item. But with cursor wrapping, it goes back to the beginning. I'm just going to VO left arrow a few times to turn off cursor wrapping.
Right command. Enable automatic skip read. Allow cursor wrap. Unchecked. Allow cursor wrap.
Now let's go to the voiceover utility categories table. I'm going to do VO home,
Search text.
VO right,
Utility categories. Table. Row 4 of 12.
and type W for web.
Web.
VO right.
Navigation. Selected. Tab 1 of 3.
We have 3 tabs or subcategories. And the way you make a tab active is you VO arrow to it and then press VO space. Let's take a look at navigation. Again, most of these are things you're just going to want to leave at their defaults. And many of these items in navigation can actually be toggled on and off using VoiceOver Commands help while you're in Safari or any other HTML content. The techniques that we talk about for website navigation, these settings and the VoiceOver utility, they apply whether you are using Safari, Chrome, another browser, looking at an email. All these things will apply to working with any HTML or web content. Okay, let's VO right.
General. Tab 2 of 3. Web router. Tab 3 of 3.
Those are still the subcategories. Let's VO right again and we'll find the first item under navigation.
DOM order navigate web pages by selected. Radio button 1 of 2.
That's DOM.
Grouping items navigate web pages by radio button 2 of 2.
Basically, are you going to navigate web pages in the order that they were written in, or grouping? And DOM allows you, to kind of navigate from left to right. Grouping, which I have not tried too much. I honestly was a bit confused when trying it a long, long time ago. But you can move up, down, left, or right. And grouping would do something like put all of the list items together. Let's say you have a list on a web page, and I don't normally do too much with trying to navigate to lists, but they can be important, and so you would need to interact inside the list to view those list items if grouping was selected. Again, I don't find it all that helpful, but you can easily do VOHH, type DOM, and toggle that on or off. Just see what websites look like.
Group items within when navigating web tables. Unchecked. Checkbox.
When this is checked, you can get a summary of things in a table and then interact if you want to view the specific items. Again, I have not used this one.
Speak column and row numbers when navigating web tables. Checked. Checkbox.
Sometimes the row and column numbers can be helpful. Sometimes they can be annoying. So again, this one you might want to toggle on or off if needed using VoiceOver Commands help.
Always navigate images. Pop-up button.
Navigate images. We can always move to images. That means every image on the page, VoiceOver will identify to you whether it's labeled or not. Most of them will just say image, image, image. But we can use VO Shift L to try to identify those images. Your other options.
Menu. 3 items. Check mark always. Never.
Never. So you could choose that you don't want to be notified anytime whatsoever when there is an image on the page. You just want to skip right over them.
With descriptions.
Or with descriptions. And some people toggle this in different ways when doing accessibility testing.
Closing.
Okay, VO right.
Enable live regions. Checked. Checkbox.
Enable live regions. These are areas of a website with constantly refreshing content, like sports scores, stock prices. I was helping a student several years ago on the Walmart website, And I believe it's improved vastly since then, but we were trying to type in search terms, look for things, and it just kept reading. I can't remember if it was a price or an item, just over and over and over. And finally, we turned off regions, and that automatic reading stopped. You can still navigate to regions using your rotor, but if you find that a website is really chatty, you might try toggling off live regions.
Always allow keyboard commands to navigate websites. Unchecked. Checkbox.
You might be asking, why is this unchecked? I honestly don't know. When we check it, we're going to get the following warning, and you might think it's a bigger deal than it actually is. Let's check the box.
In alert. Dial. Always allow keyboard commands to navigate websites. This option enables you to navigate any website using keyboard commands that include arrow keys. The behavior of websites that use arrow keys for other functionality may be affected. To enable this option only for specific websites, use VoiceOver activities instead.
Okay, and we're going to go to the Continue button
Continue. Default.
and
Button.
VO space.
Always allow keyboard commands to navigate websites. Checked. Checkbox.
Basically, there are some sites like Amazon, YouTube, Google, or more so Gmail, that have certain accessibility keyboard shortcuts. And apparently, what this is saying is if those sites use an arrow key as one of their particular accessibility shortcuts, that might conflict if we allow keyboard navigation on websites. I've never had a problem with it at all. You're still able to, like, even on the YouTube site, you have to get into the volume control, but you can use arrow keys to adjust it. I've never had a problem having this setting enabled. Let's VO right.
Help button.
And we're at the end. Let's go ahead and VO home, which is VOFN left arrow.
Search text.
VO right.
Utility.
VO right.
Navigation. Select.
VO right.
General. Tab 2 of 3.
To General and VO space.
Selected. General. Tab 2 of 3.
VO right.
Web rotor. Tab 3 of 3.
VO right.
Speak web page summary when loading a new web page. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Speak web page summary when loading a new web page. I believe this is unchecked by default. If it's not, then you might want to uncheck it. The summary is a whole bunch of statistics, and sometimes that sounds cool, but how much is it actually helpful? For instance, you might hear web page has 27 headings, 15 links, 3 buttons, 6 text fields, and on, 2 tables, 1 frame, I don't know, on and on and on and on and on. And that kind of tells you what shortcut keys you can use, or if you know them, or how you might want to, what areas you might want to spend time on in your web rotor, but it doesn't really tell you where those items are in relation to one another. It doesn't tell you how the website is laid out. And so it's just superfluous, if I can speak tonight, superfluous info. If I VO right.
Automatically speak the web page when loading a new web page. Checked. Checkbox.
And I would also uncheck this box.
Unchecked. Automatically speak the web page when loading a new web page. Checkbox.
Some people, might want VoiceOver to just read everything from top to bottom, but often the content that you want is not at the top of the page. And so you don't want to hear a whole bunch of stuff until just to get to the content you want. I would, at least, if it was a complicated, involved web page, I might sit there and wonder, okay, why did I come to this page? You might forget. Well, maybe not, but reading all that stuff is not as good as actually exploring it on your own, using VO left, VO right. You may have to go slowly and carefully on a site that you've never visited before. But then once you know the website, especially, or even if you don't know the website, you can always try navigating by heading, and that will get you to content more quickly than hearing VoiceOver spout out everything from top to bottom. Let's VO right.
Speak progress while a web page loads. Pop-up button.
Sometimes there's not even time to hear progress, but you could also have it speak and play tone or do nothing.
Help button.
And there we are at the end. Now I'm going to use my item chooser, VOI,
Item chooser menu 28.
and type in ROT or ROT
1 item web rotor. Tab 3 of 3.
for web rotor. Now I'll press return
Web rotor. Tab 3 of 3.
and VO space.
Selected. Web rotor. Tab 3 of 3.
What is the web rotor? It is probably one of the best voiceover features used in Safari. It's in NVDA, you may have something called an elements list. This is an enhanced, a much better elements list. JAWS, you have links list, but you use VO and the letter U for web rotor. I don't know why we use the letter U. U is not at all in the word web rotor. I wish we could change it. We might be able to, but that's not the point. And so web rotor is a list or a grouping of categories such as headings, links, buttons, text fields, and you can use left and right arrow to move from category to category and up and down arrow to the items in that category. But what's really cool about the web rotor is first letter navigation. I know we stress that a lot. This is especially useful if you are familiar with the website, you know what you want. We're not going to do a full website navigation session now, but I just want to show you some of the things that the web rotor might have. The web rotor only contains web elements. Now, you can also get to web elements using VO command left and VO command right arrow. That's the full rotor, but the web rotor is a specific set of items only relatable to navigating web content. I'm going to open Safari by pressing right option S. Again, that'll only work if you have enabled option key commands with VO Shift K. So I'll press right option S.
Safari. Chanel. Untitled.
And I'm going to just go to the Applevis website.
Applevis.com. Closing menu.
And
https://
we'll talk about how to get to a website later. But if I press VO and the letter U,
links menu. On item skip to main content.
we have links.
Headings menu.
I press
On item 2. Main navigation.
I pressed right arrow to get to headings, right arrow again,
Form controls menu. On item sticky header. Off switch.
right arrow,
Landmarks menu. On item banner. Frames menu. Window spots menu. Links menu. On
Look
item
back at
skip to
links.
main content.
I add a few more things to my rotor, and that's what we're going to talk about is the order of these items. I want headings to be the first item in my rotor, not links, and we're going to fix that. I'll go ahead and press the escape key.
Applevis web.
And on iOS, you are hopefully familiar with using your rotor gesture to go through the different rotor categories. And of course, that includes a whole bunch of things besides web categories, like characters, words, and whatever, voices, a few other things. But on your iPhone, you are able to rearrange the rotor. And that's what we are going to do on our Mac is rearrange the order of items in our rotor. Let's Command Tab to get back to the VoiceOver utility.
VoiceOver utility. VoiceOver utility window. Web rotor selected. Tab 3 of 3.
And I'll VO right arrow.
Select the checkbox to enable or disable an item. To reorder the items, use Command up arrow and Command down arrow.
VO right.
Item order. Table. No selection.
I am going to interact in this table, and that's because I want to move things around and check boxes. If I just wanted to view the list of what was here without changing anything, I wouldn't need to interact. But since I want to take action on something inside of another item, that is, take action on an item within a table, I need to interact.
In item order, table, row 1 of 18. Item order links, checked, checkbox, selected. Item order links,
And we can down arrow or VO down arrow, it doesn't matter.
frames, checked, checkbox.
Okay, frames, I would put those at the bottom, and I don't even know if I'd navigate by frames, honestly. I'm kind of a pack rat when it comes to the web rotor. I don't know, if the fewer things you have in here, the more streamlined your experience will be. But I just worry that, if I get rid of something out of the web rotor, I might need it. I don't treat everything that way, but that's kind of my philosophy with the web rotor. Herbie and others only have a few things in their web rotor, and that's probably a good idea. But I'm going to command down arrow to move frames all the way to the bottom.
Move down, 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 move down.
And notice VoiceOver only says move down. It doesn't tell us what it's moving below. Eventually, I press command down arrow and it stops speaking, indicating that we have moved frames to the bottom. I'm now going to press option up arrow.
Links, checked, checkbox.
And remember, option up arrow takes us to the beginning of a list, and I'll do down arrow.
Landmarks, checked, checkbox.
Landmarks are areas of a website that the developer has marked as important, like the home link or certain other navigational areas, main content. I haven't really used landmarks a whole lot to navigate. I suppose I could. They might be useful if a site doesn't have headings, but they're just another way to navigate to important areas of the website.
Tables, checked, checkbox.
And we have tables.
Form controls, checked, checkbox.
Now I might move form controls. Okay, what are form controls? In one area, they're called controls, and another area, they're called form controls. They are a bunch of things, from text fields, buttons, radio groups, checkboxes. Those are all examples of form controls. However, we can also navigate by those specific items. So, VO Command J will jump you to any control, any form control indiscriminately, but we also have other ways of getting to those different types of controls. I might move form controls below links.
Links, checked, check.
Oops.
Landmarks.
Except I pressed, when I wanted to move something up, I accidentally pressed option up arrow, not command up arrow.
Table, form controls.
So I'll press command
Form
up arrow
controls,
a couple times.
check, checkbox. Move up, move up.
And if I up arrow,
Links, check.
okay,
Form controls.
we have form controls below links. Let's continue.
Landmark, table, headings, checked.
Here are my headings. Those should be at the top. I'm going to do, for me, you might want headings in a different spot, and that's okay. I'm going to press command up
Headings.
arrow.
Move up, move up, move up, move up.
There we go. And now I need to down arrow.
Links, form, landmarks, tables, articles, unchecked, check.
Articles are great if a site actually uses them. The only website I've seen use articles is Applevis, and that's another way kind of indicating where the start of content of an article or guide or post or whatever begins.
Checked, buttons, unchecked.
Now I would check buttons, and I might actually have those below links.
Checked,
And so I did VO space to check the box, and then we can do command up arrow.
buttons, move up, move up, move up.
And if I up arrow,
Form controls, buttons,
so I'll command up arrow.
move up.
And so now if I up arrow
Links,
and then down arrow,
buttons, checked,
Form
check. Form
controls.
controls, checked, check. Landmarks, checked. Tables, checked. Articles, checked. Text fields, unchecked, checked.
so I might actually put text fields up there. We could talk about how to rearrange this, and spend all evening. I don't remember the exact order of my rotor in my typical voiceover settings. But text fields are areas where you can type in text.
Checked. Images, unchecked, checkbox. Lines, unchecked, checkbox. Lists, unchecked, checkbox. Live regions, unchecked, checkbox. Non-visited links, unchecked, checkbox. Visited links, unchecked,
And
checkbox.
I always forget about them, but visited links can be really helpful. So I might check the box, VO space,
Checked.
and move that up a ways.
Move up, move up. Images, visited link, move up. Articles, visited, move up. Landmarks, visited, move up. But visited links,
Yeah. I am going to spend more time rearranging my rotor before our next Safari lesson, but you get the idea. Interact in the table, up and down arrow or VO up and down arrow to move from item to item, VO space to check the box, Command up arrow and Command down arrow to move items around. Okay, the final thing we want to take a look at is commands, and particularly quick nav. So I'm going to stop interacting with this table.
Out of item order, table, help button.
And where it helps. So now I will VO home,
Search text,
VO right,
utility,
type in C for commands, and VO right.
Control Option or caps lock voiceover modifier, menu button.
We have been here before, so I'm going to go over these quickly until I get to quick nav.
Also control voiceover with edit numpad commands. Also control voiceover right option key, edit option key commands. Button. Also control voiceover with trackpad unchecked. Trackpad options.
Keep
button.
going.
Edit trackpad arrow key quick nav unchecked. Checkbox.
Arrow key quick nav. If I check the box, that will activate arrow key quick nav.
Single key quick nav unchecked. Checkbox.
And again, if I check the box, that will activate single key quick nav.
Edit quick nav commands button. Quick nav always allow typing in text fields. Checked. Checkbox.
That used to not quite work so well. Previously, when quick nav was enabled, we'll talk more about typing in text fields next time.
Toggles all quick nav left and right arrow keys. Pop up button.
Okay, when you press down left and right arrow keys, what is it going to do? As this says, by default, it toggles all quick nav. If I press left and right arrow down together at the same time,
All quick nav on.
it toggles all quick nav.
All quick nav off.
Now, you might be asking, what is quick nav? Quick nav is similar to holding down the VO, having the VO keys held down. Similar to the control option lock. However, it doesn't quite do the same thing. For instance, if you have turned on control option lock and press the D key, you go to the dock. With quick nav on, the letter D might take you to the next element or something. I can't remember what the D shortcut is. There are two types of quick nav. One is arrow key quick nav, and that allows you to use the quick nav rotor. It allows you to do left arrow and right arrow instead of VO left and VO right. Again, I'm going to demonstrate this in 2 weeks. And then we have single key quick nav, where you can do things like B for button, C for checkbox, H for heading, L for link. And by default, what happens when you press down the left and right arrows at the same time? I prefer to the old Mac and VoiceOver behavior where it just enabled arrow key navigation. I can down arrow.
Menu, 4 items checkmark toggles all quick nav. Do nothing. Toggles arrow key quick nav. Toggles single key quick nav.
So I prefer it where it just toggles arrow key nav.
Key quick nav.
However, some people accidentally toggle quick nav on with the arrows, and that can be easy to do and annoying. So you might prefer
Do nothing.
to set this to do nothing. Setting it to do nothing would prevent accidental turning on of QuickNav. I'm going to set it
Toggles
to
arrow key quick nav.
arrow key QuickNav.
Closing menu. Toggles arrow key.
So QuickNav is just a different way of navigating with VoiceOver. Holding down less keys does require interaction, which is why I don't really recommend using it in a lot of places. No harm in interacting, but it will conflict with just trying to use Mac commands. That's the big thing. When you're using QuickNav, the arrow keys do not behave for Mac commands. So let's continue on our way.
When toggling quick nav pop-up button.
When toggling QuickNav, okay, is it going to tell you
Menu. 2 items check mark speak. Play tone.
or play a tone?
Close command set. Built in.
Okay, and now we get to looking at our command set. We are done here. You can go into edit QuickNav commands and add commands, review the commands, but there's an alternative for viewing QuickNav
Safari.
commands. I just pressed Command Q to quit the VoiceOver utility. I'm going to toggle QuickNav back on.
Arrow key quick nav on.
Remember, I set it so that I've toggled on arrow key QuickNav with left and right down together. Yours will say all QuickNav on if you have not changed the default. And then I'll press VOQ.
Single key quick nav on.
And I'm going to go into my VoiceOver commands help, which is VOHH. I cannot type the letter Q because that would try to find a command, but I will just arrow through the list until I get to QuickNav. Here we go, VOHH.
Voice commands help menu. 16 items. General menu. Information menu. Navigation text menu. Web menu. Find menu. Tables menu. Size and position menu. Audio menu. Braille menu. Visuals menu. Speech menu. Hotspots menu. Numpad keys menu. Option keys menu. QuickNav menu.
If I didn't say, I was pressing down arrow to get down to QuickNav. I'll right arrow to open the menu.
QuickNav menu. 52 items. Arrow key quick nav on, left and right. Find next button B, find next checkbox C, find next control J, find next different item D, find next heading H.
And we're not going to go through all of these. I just want you to know that you can look up your QuickNav commands by going into the VoiceOver commands help. I'm going to hit the backspace key.
Arrow key quick nav on, left and right. Arrow key quick nav on,
Actually,
left, commands help menu on.
I should have hit
QuickNav
left arrow.
menu.
Okay, and then just to give an example, if you wanted to toggle on that DOM or group, you can type in D.
237
M.
item. Toggle web navigation DOM or group.
And so you can, or start to type in regions for region. So
Skip to
you can toggle lots of things using VoiceOver commands help. And I'm going to turn off my QuickNav
arrow key quick nav off.
by pressing left and right arrows down together. Toggle off single key QuickNav with VOQ.
Single key quick nav off.
Now let's go into Safari settings. How do we open Safari settings? Well, I'll give you a minute to think about that, and then you'll get your answer shortly.
General button. Actions available.
We are in a toolbar. If I view left,
General,
we have General, and let's just stick there. That's not our selected item, but at least it landed on General instead of some random place. However, if we do VO space,
Edit text blank.
we're automatically placed in a text field, which is quite annoying. It's for typing in a home page. Let's do VO home
Toolbar.
and VO right.
A new window. Safari opens with pop-up button.
Okay. The Mac, you have to decide upon lots of things. I mean, you don't have to come to settings, but you can. When Safari opens, what is it going to open to? In Finder, we could choose what a new Finder window opened with, what specific folder. In TextEdit, we couldn't exactly choose what the app opened to, unfortunately, but we could at least define properties or a template for new documents. So we get to make some decisions about what appears when we open Safari. And your choices are a new window,
Menu, 4 items, check mark a new window, a new private window, all windows from last session.
private browsing is basically a way of browsing the web that doesn't store your cookies, it doesn't keep a record of where you've gone and when. It's all private.
All non-private windows from last session, check mark a new window.
So Safari is going to open with a new window.
Close
Now we need to choose what that new window contains. Let's view right.
empty page, new windows open with pop-up button.
Safari is much easier to navigate when you try to keep a minimalist view, having it open to an empty page. Your other choices in here:
Menu, 6 items, check mark empty page, same page. Tabs for favorites, choose tabs folder ellipsis, start page.
Start page is kind of Apple's version of a thing. It has your favorites, it has statistics on your browsing history, things like that. I haven't viewed the start page in a while.
Home page.
Or you could always have a new Safari window open to a home page.
Check mark empty page.
But empty page is fast. There's not a whole bunch of other stuff that comes with it. That is how I prefer to have my Safari open.
Closing menu.
Let's view right.
Empty page, new tabs open with pop-up button.
So you might want to have multiple websites open at once. And to open another website, you can press Command T. What's going to happen though when you press Command T? What is that tab going to load with? And if we also choose empty page, if we down arrow though, we have the same or most of the same things as Windows.
Menu, 4 items, check mark empty page, same page, start page, home page.
All right.
Closing menu, empty page, new tabs open with pop-up
And
button.
view right.
Edit text, blank.
Here's where you could type in a home page address.
Sets to current page home page button. Manually remove history items. Pop-up button.
Remove history items. I used to want mine removed every day. Then I started playing Wordle, and I didn't feel like logging into Wordle every time for it to keep track of my stats. So your options in here.
Menu, 6 items, check mark manually. After 1 day, after 1 week, after 2 weeks, after 1 month, after 1 year, check mark manually.
Those are for clearing history. When you clear history or when Safari clears it, it gets rid of, the times when you visited the websites and that data as well as all the cookies. So login info and any other things stored with those websites.
Favorites, start page favorites, pop-up button. Downloads, file download location, pop-up button.
Okay, file download location. Or in other words, how does Safari handle downloads? It should really be labeled like that. But are they automatically going to go to your downloads folder? So when you press Option Return on something to download linked file, or you press sometimes even just pressing Return or VO space, what is going to happen? Is it going to go automatically to your downloads folder, or
Menu, 3 items, check mark downloads. Ask for each download.
is Safari going to prompt you for each download? I used to choose that until saving got a little bit more quirky in Safari because I downloaded, lots of different things and didn't want them all in the same place. However, I've gotten used to moving them where I need them to be.
Other ellipsis.
Or other, maybe you have another folder on your Mac where you want downloads to go. That's not the downloads folder. So you could have things always download to that other folder. And if you choose other, you'll be put into a window where you can choose that folder. So I just leave mine on downloads
Closing
for now.
menu.
And
Downloads, file download location, pop-up button.
one kind of disconcerting thing about that is Safari will just automatically download the file. It won't tell you it's downloading. You might hear a little or I can't really do the sound, but something that it tells you the download has finished, kind of a harsh, brief, high-pitched sound, and that'll tell you that the download has finished, but it goes automatically without you doing anything. I used to accidentally download several versions of a file until I figured out, oh, I'm downloading this multiple times. I don't need to do that. Whereas if you choose ask for each download, Safari will ask you where it wants to save, and then you're kind of in control of when the download starts. Or when you choose other, I'm sure it'll just automatically download there as well. Let's VO right.
When Safari quits, remove download list items. Pop-up button.
When Safari quits, so download list items are only the record of that download. It's not the actual downloads themselves, only the list of those downloads. And when is it going to remove the record of what you downloaded? When Safari quits.
Menu. 4 items check mark when Safari quits. Upon successful download.
Upon successful download.
Manually. After 1 day.
Or after 1 day. I'm going to hit escape.
Closing menu.
And VO right.
Open save files after downloading. Unchecked. Checkbox.
Open save files after downloading. It's not too often that I really want a file to be opened right away.
Save files include movies, pictures, sounds, text documents, and archives. Help button.
And we are at the end. Let's do VOJ to get into the toolbar.
In toolbar. 10 items. General. Selected. Button.
And VO right.
Tabs button.
Here we
Actions
have tabs.
available.
And we're not going to view everything in this, but the first item is important. Let's VO space.
Tabs selected.
Uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
Always open pages and tabs instead of windows. Pop-up button.
Open pages and tabs instead of windows, meaning if you have multiple pages open at once, you would control tab between them. Your options are always,
Menu. 3 items check mark always, never,
never,
automatically.
or automatically. I think it might be set to automatically by default. I choose always.
Closing menu.
Let's VO right.
Automatically close tabs. Manually automatically close tabs. Pop-up button.
Your Mac can keep house for you. If you don't close Safari often, sure, you might want it to close tabs after a certain amount of time. But I do close Safari when I'm done with it.
Menu. 4 items check mark manually.
Your options, though, if you want it to close tabs for you manually.
After 1 day.
After 1 day.
After 1 week. After 1 month.
All right.
Check mark manually. Closing.
And let's VO right.
Tab layout. Separate. Separate. Selected. Compact. Toggle button. Show color and tab bar. Unchecked. Always show website titles and tabs. Checked. Checkbox.
So when you have multiple tabs open, there will appear a tab bar. And I suppose, yeah, you want to see the title. A lot of these options are visual.
Navigation. Separate. Command click opens a link in a new tab. Checked. Checkbox.
For us, that's Command Return. Command Return opens a link in a new tab.
When a new tab or window opens, make it active. Unchecked. Checkbox. Use Command 1 through Command 9 to switch tabs. Checked. Checkbox.
So you can use your keyboard shortcuts if you have a lot of tabs open. Command 1 through 9 will switch between the 9 open tabs. You don't have to have 9 open, but yeah, it'll do that. Now, I don't remember if it was checked or unchecked by default to have a tab made active once you open something in a new tab. Sometimes I'm reading an article and I might find something that interests me in that article, which is a link, but I want to finish reading the article first. And so I might not want the new content automatically focused for me. I might want to finish reading what I was reading first.
When a new tab or window opens, make it active. Unchecked.
So I have that unchecked. Okay.
Command.
The rest of these are visual. Let's get back to our toolbar, VOJ.
Always open pages and tabs.
Okay, VOJ.
In toolbar. 10 items. Tabs selected.
VO right.
Autofill button.
VO space.
Actions of autofill selected.
All right, so autofill can fill usernames, your contact info, credit cards. Let's go through this. Uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
Using information from my contacts autofill web forms. Checked. Checkbox. Edit. Using information from my contacts autofill web forms button. Open contacts to edit your card.
So you can edit the info in your contact card. And typically, the only things that really need to be filled out in forms are your name and email and maybe address. But you can edit all that in the Contacts app.
Usernames and passwords autofill web forms. Checked. Checkbox.
Usernames and passwords.
Edit. Usernames and passwords autofill web forms button.
Pressing-
Remove saved names and passwords.
All right, pressing this edit button will go into the Passwords app. Passwords is a full-featured app on your Mac that you can use for storing passwords, checking the security of passwords, creating additional codes for websites that require extra things. The Passwords app is great. I gave up my 1Password subscription because I'm totally happy with Keychain and passwords. The Mac can generate passwords for you, or Apple. You've probably used that on your iPhone. And you can have passwords autofilled in websites and in apps as well. Let's VO Right.
Credit cards. Checked. Checkbox. Edit. Credit cards button. Edit
So-
or remove credit card information.
You need to, if you want credit cards to be available to use in Safari, if you want Safari to keep track of your credit cards, you need to enter them separately here. Having credit cards in Wallet does not sync up with the information that Safari has access to. Some people might set up Wallet on their iPhone or Mac, but having Safari store credit card info is separate.
Other forms autofill web forms. Checked. Checkbox.
The Mac can remember sites that you visit or forms you filled out and kind of save some of that data.
Edit. Other forms autofill web forms button. Help button.
And we're done with autofill. All right, VOJ,
In toolbar. 10 items. Autofill. Selected button.
VO Right,
Search button.
VO Space
Actions
on
available.
search,
Search selected.
uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
And by the way, we are interacting with VO Shift down arrow and uninteracting with VO Shift up arrow. I know I haven't mentioned those, but figured you knew and just thought I'd be nice and refresh you. Okay, VO Right,
Google. Search engine. Pop-up button.
search engine. We have a few choices.
Menu. 5 items. Checkmark Google. Yahoo. Bing. DuckDuckGo. Ecosia. Checkmark Google. Close.
This means when you go to the Safari address bar with Command L, and we'll talk about that, which is also the Smart Search field, what search engine is it going to use? You don't need to go directly to the Google website or the Yahoo website or whatever. You can just type a search directly in your address bar, and most of you are probably familiar with that. So which engine is it going to use? You can't type in a custom search engine. You've got to use one of those. Like I know some people or some extensions have enabled to use ChatGPT as a search engine, not in Safari.
Also use in private browsing. Checked. Checkbox. Private browsing search engine. Google. Search engine. Dimmed. Pop-up button.
I just leave the in private browsing stuff alone. I really haven't used it.
Include search engine suggestions. Smart search field. Unchecked. Checkbox.
I uncheck a bunch of these things. I don't really want Safari making suggestions. I'd rather have the peace of mind to think quietly or not of what I'm going to type in without VoiceOver constantly bombarding me with things. It already speaks enough. So I turn off all of these suggestions.
Include Safari suggestions. Dimmed. Unchecked. Checkbox. Enable quick website search. Checked. Checkbox.
Quick website search could be useful. For instance, let's say I think it might work on Bookshare, I'm not sure, or Wikipedia. You type in the website followed by the term you're looking for, and it would search that website.
Manage websites button. Preload top hit in the background smart search field. Unchecked. Checkbox. Show start page smart search field. Unchecked. Checkbox. Help button.
And that's search. Let's get back into our toolbar with VOJ,
In toolbar. 10 items. Search selected.
VO right arrow.
Security button.
Okay,
Actions
security.
available.
That is basically, you can check a box to warn you about fraudulent websites, check another box for using JavaScript, and there might be one or two other things there, but not too important to go into. Let's VO right.
Privacy button.
Privacy, VO
Actions available.
space,
Privacy selected.
and let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
VO right.
Website tracking. Prevent cross-site tracking. Checked. Checkbox.
Prevent cross-site tracking. This should be enabled by default. So if you go from one website to another, they can't track that. Again, this should be kind of a default setting.
Hide IP address. Hide IP address from trackers. Checked. Checkbox. Your IP address can be used to determine personal information, like your location. To protect this information, Safari can hide your IP address from known trackers. Link learn more.
All right, good thing to have. And I think Apple is really good about security. These things are also enabled by default on your iPhone.
Website data. Manage website data button.
Okay, if you want to clear or view specific cookies, specific websites, you can do that. You can go in here and remove websites, and that would remove their data, but all that also gets cleared when you clear Safari history. So you don't need to worry about going in here unless maybe you're having a problem with a particular website. You don't want to clear out all your history. But I think I've only gone in there once.
Private browsing. Require Touch ID to view locked tabs. Checked.
I've never used locked tabs.
Advanced settings button. About Safari and privacy, but help button.
Okay, let's go to our toolbar, VOJ,
In toolbar. 10 items. Privacy selected. Websites button.
and
Actions
website.
available.
I'm going to VO space.
Websites selected.
There are a bunch of categories that we can customize for either the website that we're on or specify a default behavior for other websites, non-visited websites. And we'll take a look at the categories. There's a more streamlined way to fix the settings for a website all at once, but let me just show you this table.
Out of toolbar.
Getting out of the toolbar, let's VO right.
References. Table. Row 2 of 14. Reader. Selected.
Here are all of our categories. Let's down arrow.
Content blockers. Autoplay. Page zoom. Camera. Microphone. Screen sharing. Location. Downloads. Notifications. Open links with profile. Pop-up windows.
Okay, let's take pop-up windows, for instance. If we VO right,
Allow pop-up windows on the websites below.
allow pop-up windows on the websites below. Let's VO right.
Website settings for pop-up windows. Table. No selection.
And if we were to down arrow,
applevis.com. Allow pop-up button.
and it's showing us that because it's the website that we are on right now. I think I've maybe allowed pop-ups on AppleVis.
Accounts google.com. Allow action fund account.
Okay, lots of these sites I've allowed pop-ups on apparently. And so that's fine. We can change it for those particular sites that I've visited and allowed pop-ups on. But if we VO right,
Remove button when visiting other websites. Block and notify pop-up button.
so then you can specify what happens when you visit other websites. But let's say I wanted to turn off content blockers on AppleVis. I wanted to turn on the reader. I don't. But I'd have to go back to this table each time. So if I did
In
VOJ
toolbar.
and VOJ again.
In website settings for pop-up windows. Table. Row 2 of 15.
Oh, it skipped over our table. Well, if we uninteract,
Allow pop-up references. Table. Row 13 of 14. Pop-up window.
pop-ups. So if I did up arrow,
Open links with profile. Notifications.
notifications. Some websites like YouTube want to send you notifications. And I'd have to go through and change the notifications for the site that I'm on and specify notifications for other websites. non-visited websites. And so you'd have to keep adjusting each one of these specific categories for the one website that you're on. But there's another way to do these things that doesn't involve going into this table. And most of you probably don't care about all of these things until you go to a website and you have loud music blaring at you, or you're dealing with nothing but pop-ups, or there was something in a pop-up that you actually needed. Then you might care about this stuff. And I normally don't worry about it myself until a problem pops up. Let's go back to our toolbar, VOJ.
General. In Preferences, Table. Row 11 of 14 in Notification Settings, Table in Toolbar.
There we go.
10 items, Websites, Select.
And via right,
Profiles, button.
Profiles allow you to have a kind of a specific set of Safari settings or information stored for different profiles. For instance, I have one called YouTube that automatically launches or should launch for YouTube links that I click on an email or wherever on other websites. And it's logged into a YouTube account, a paid YouTube account I share with Herbie. I have another profile where I'm signed into certain Zoom accounts. And so it makes it easier to access those. Sometimes it's necessary to access Zoom settings when you're an administrator on the web. And so those are profiles. I'm not going to talk about how to set up profiles, but that option does exist. We used to not have it in Safari, but they started to learn from Google and Edge and others, I suppose. Let's via right.
Extensions, button.
Here's where you
Actions
can manage extensions that you have enabled, remove them or disable them. I don't have any. Long ago, I used to use 1Password, but I'm not using any extensions. So let's via right.
Advanced, button.
And finally,
Actions
advanced.
available.
I'll press VO space.
Advanced select.
And let's uninteract.
Out of toolbar.
Via right.
Smart search field.
Okay, one more thing pertaining to the smart search field, which is really important.
Show full website address, checked, checkbox.
Show full website address. If you ever want to share a link with someone, you might go to your address bar or web location bar, as they might call it, with Command L. And then you would press Command A to select the link, Command C to copy it, and then Command V to paste it wherever you want to paste it. But in order for that to function correctly, this box for Show Full Website Address needs to be checked. Let's via right.
Accessibility. Never use font sizes smaller than unchecked, checkbox. 9. Never use press tab to highlight each item on a web page, checked.
Press tab to highlight each item on a web page. This is not checked by default. It should be. And so when it's checked, tab will move to links, buttons, text fields, everything it can possibly move to. Now, tab can't move to everything. Also, you miss a lot of important context when you use tab. But if you're going to, you might as well have it function properly in the way that it is supposed to function.
Option tab highlights all items except links. Privacy. Use advanced track.
All right, and the rest of these we don't need to worry about. Let's get out of Safari settings by pressing Command W.
Now in Chanel, Apple this window.
And I am going to open up another tab, and to do that, I'm going to do Command T
Smart search.
and type in the iBug Today website.
iBugtoday.org. Closing menu. https://
Now, I'm going to make sure I'm uninteracted and do VO Home.
Image.
Let's talk about the elements of the Safari window. You're mainly going to have a toolbar, a sidebar of some kind, unless you've hidden it, which I'll show you how to do. You don't really need the sidebar in Safari. And then the main web content. You may also have a tab bar appearing next to the toolbar when you have more than one website open. So let's view right.
Toolbar.
We have our toolbar. The only thing we need inside the toolbar is the address bar, which we can get to with Command L. And Sometimes we don't even need to do that. When we open Safari, we're automatically placed in our address bar. Let's VO right.
Tab bar, 2 tabs list.
So if we have multiple tabs open, then we have our tab bar,
iBug Today, web content.
and then we have our web content. So if I control tab to
Link
AppleVis,
skip to main
we'll have the same thing. If I
out of
interact,
Apple.
VO left,
Tab bar, 2
tab bar, VO left,
toolbar.
toolbar. Okay, what if I want to change this AppleVis website to Wordle? I don't know the exact site, so I'm just going to type in nytimes.com. So to get to my address bar, again, I would do Command L. Think of that as going to a web location,
HTTP.
and I'll type in
NY
NYTimes.
Wordle, the New York Times, web content.
And it
HTTP.
actually went to Wordle because that is a bookmark I have. So yeah, we're at Wordle anyway. Okay, we've talked about the Safari window. Let's go into the menu bar and then we will be done for the evening. VOM
Menu bar Apple.
and right arrow.
Safari.
First thing we'll look at is Safari. Down arrow.
Safari. Menu. 13 items about Safari.
The first thing you have in the Safari menu is About Safari. Gives you the version number. That's with any app and anything in the menu bar. You go into the app name. The first item is always About.
Safari extensions ellipsis.
Here's where you can actually download Safari extensions. In Safari settings, we can manage the extensions. Here's where you download them. I have never really looked at this.
Settings ellipsis command comma.
All right, and I hope you just heard your answer there for how to open Safari settings. Let me have VoiceOver repeat that. You can have VoiceOver say the last spoken phrase or repeat it with VOZ.
Settings ellipsis command comma.
And in case you didn't hear it again,
Settings ellipsis command comma.
okay, little inside joke in the review session. We've heard it now. So, settings, ellipsis, command, comma. Okay, down arrow.
Privacy report ellipsis.
That will give you kind of a history of what things Apple has blocked, and I don't know. I don't remember what that is.
Settings for nytimes.com ellipsis.
Okay, settings for nytimes.com. This allows you to customize all the settings for a particular website all at once. So remember in the Safari settings in the toolbar, we had that websites button. If we go into settings for nyt.com, nytimes.com, or if we were on the other site, settings for applevis.com, settings for iBug Today, whatever website you're on, if you press the return key,
Insight preferences pop over. 19 items when visiting nytimes.com. Site
is-
preferences.
okay, so this is called Site Preferences, and you get to adjust all the preferences at once for one particular site, the site you're on.
Use reader when available. Unchecked. Checkbox. Enable content blockers. Checked. Checkbox.
I notice whenever I turn off Enable Content Blockers, then I get taken out of these settings. I don't have any reason to do that on this site, but some of these, if you check or uncheck the box, you'll be taken out of the site-specific settings, and you'll have to go into it again.
Page zoom. 100%. Pop-up button. Autoplay. Stop media with sound. Pop-up button. Pop-up windows. Block and notify. Pop-up button. Open block and
And
notify.
so you can again go into these pop-up buttons to choose different things.
Open links with profile. Most recent profile. Camera. Ask pop microphone. Ask pop screen sharing. Ask pop location. Ask pop-up button. Ask pop-up button.
Okay, I'm going to hit the escape key,
Portal. New York.
and let's go ahead and VOM.
Menu bar Apple.
Right arrow,
Safari.
down arrow.
Safari. Menu. 13 items about.
And we were mostly through the Safari menu. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to hit up arrow.
Quit Safari command. Q.
That's how we quit an app.
Show all. Dim. Hide others. Hide Safari command. H. Services. Submenu. Manage profiles ellipsis. Clear history ellipsis.
Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you was clear history. So you could technically do VOM, right arrow to Safari, down arrow, type in CL. You'll also find Clear History in the History menu. Let's press Return.
In Dialog today, clearing history will remove related cookies and other website data. History will also be removed on other devices signed into your iCloud account. Clear. From
Okay,
menu, 4 items checkmark today.
so today it would just remove today's history.
Today and yesterday. All history. Last hour.
And so you could choose one of those.
Close dialog. Dialog.
Okay. For some reason now I need to interact. I was just able to press down arrow on that pop-up button, but now I need to interact again. Go figure.
In dialog today.
So via right,
From all history and website data. Pop-up button.
and here you could choose a specific profile if you only want to get rid of history out of a particular profile.
Help button. Cancel button.
I
Clear history button.
don't want to get rid of this. I'm going to hit escape.
Wordle.
Now let's go back into the menu bar, and we're just going to take a look at File and View and then be done for the evening. We'll cover bookmarks and history in 2 weeks. So VOM,
Menu bar app.
right arrow,
Safari. File.
down arrow,
File. Menu. 19 items. Print ellipsis command P. New window. Submenu.
Okay, this submenu just shows me if I wanted to open a new window in a particular profile.
New private window command Shift N. New tab command T.
And most of the time, you're going to want to do new tabs in Safari, so you can do Control Tab. You can open a web page in its own window, and then you would do Command Accent, but I've always done Control Tab in Safari.
New empty tab group command Control N. New tab group with 2 tabs. Open file ellipsis command O. Open location ellipsis command L.
Aha! Open Location, Command L. That takes you to where you can type a web address or a search term.
Close window command Shift W. Close all windows command Shift Option W. Close tab command W.
Since our default is working in tabs, then Command W will close a tab.
Delete tab group. Delete command Control W. Save as ellipsis command S. Share ellipsis. Export as PDF ellipsis.
You can export things as PDF.
Add to doc ellipsis. Import browsing data from file or folder ellipsis.
Add to doc allows you to kind of save a website to your doc. However, if the website frequently updates or, it's not perfect, but it's kind of like creating an applet. It's a website.
Export browsing data to file ellipsis. Import from browser. Print ellipsis command P.
And we're back at print.
New window. Submenu.
Okay. So let's go into view.
Bare ellipsis.
Oh, let's get out of that.
Closing menu.
VOM,
Menu bar.
VI,
View.
down arrow.
View. Menu. 20 items checkmark. Always show toolbar and customize toolbar ellipsis. Always show tab bar. Show favorites bar command Shift B.
And so if any of these things say hide, you could press return or VO space, and that would close that.
Show status bar command / show sidebar command Shift L.
Show sidebar. You might be dealing with a sidebar right after the toolbar before you get into the web content.
Show bookmarks sidebar command Control 1. Show reading list sidebar command Control 2. Show shared with you. Show reader command Shift R.
And so, hiding these things can kind of declutter your Safari window.
Show tab overview command Shift /.
And we will talk about the reader view next time.
Show downloads dimmed command Option L.
Downloads is dimmed because we haven't downloaded any files.
Stop command period. Reload page command R.
Reloading a page in Safari is done with Command R.
Translation submenu. Actual size dimmed command 0. Zoom in command +. Zoom out command -. Text encoding submenu. Enter full screen FN F.
All right.
Checkmark always show toolbar and full screen dimmed.
We are
Closing.
ready for web browsing next time, or as nearly ready as we can be. Think about rearranging things in your VoiceOver rotor, even a web rotor, even if you don't know exactly what order you want to use. You can still practice rearranging them. See what happens when you press left and right arrows down together to toggle quick nav. Go into Safari, take a look at the app window, go into Safari settings, there are things you can do, and we'll make it all the more fun with web browsing next time.
On.
So, the floor is open for questions.
It's Michael.
Yeah, hi, Michael.
Sorry, my mic was up. Okay. The keychain versus the password, whatever it was that you showed us.
Mm-hmm.
The keychain creates the safe password. Is that correct?
Right, and then it's stored. Like you can, you're in Safari, you'll be prompted to generate a password and to save a password, and they're all stored in Keychain, meaning that that's available on all of your devices.
Okay. So, all right. That was my main question because I have done that the odd time and I'm like, where am I ever going to find this again?
Yeah.
So,
Go open your Passwords app on your Mac. Look in the apps folder and find passwords, or
okay.
use Spotlight or whatever, and you should see all the passwords you've created on your iPhone.
Yeah, I
Or
wasn't
on
that
your
many
Mac.
because I wasn't sure how it really worked. All right, but I could open it up on my iPhone, on my Mac, any
Yeah.
Apple. It's all linked to my Apple account.
It
I
is.
suppose. All right,
And
perfect.
Herbie
Thank
could
you.
answer more questions because he's actually done demos on that. But it's pretty easy. It's really pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Anyone else?
One,
Yes, Boone?
I have a website suggestion for the next week. Not next week. That's next week
Uh-huh.
after the meeting talk. I was getting trouble navigating with Google Sheets. So if
Google
it would
Sheets.
be
Oh boy.
just basics. If I know, like it's being so difficult, like by using the like alternative to normal Excel and numbers. Just
All
the
right.
basic commands would
Herbie
be
said
helpful.
yes. He'll do it. The first thing is turning on accessibility mode with Command Option Z. But yeah, Herbie said he could cover Google Sheets a little bit. So that'll be his portion of the. I'm going to do general web navigation, and then the review session for that week will focus on any websites that you want to go to.
Okay.
Yep. So
Yes.
very good. All right. Anyone else?
This is Kenny.
Yes, Kenny.
I've not used Safari with the Mac much. Is Amazon or Walmart a hard website to navigate on Safari versus using like an app?
In some ways, I kind of like the web better. It can be a little bit tricky, but I don't know. I think Amazon is one of the sites that I demo, and Herbie has demoed Walmart before, so we can definitely demo those on the Mac.
Did y'all demo them somewhere else or previous
Huh?
class? Did y'all demo them somewhere else or previous class?
Yeah,
or
previous
something?
classes we've demoed them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I see.
Yep.
This is Bhuvan.
Yes, Bhuvan.
Is there any way to read out the capture code which is given in the image by logging in a lot of websites? Because it's a big problem. In Google Chrome, it would read out in Windows, but I'm not finding a proper solution in Mac.
To read the CAPTCHA?
Yes.
CAPTCHA? What, do you actually get it to read in Chrome? Like with JAWS OCR?
Yeah,
Windows?
I was reading with JAWS in OCR, and sometimes the Google would automatically give me the code.
Yeah, you can try VO Shift L.
That is not working. It's saying
Okay.
no image available for description.
And do
Something like
you,
that.
do you make sure you're on an image? Like,
Yeah, there would be image, and sometimes the cursor won't go on the image,
Okay,
on the capture image.
there is a program called VOCR, which you can download on GitHub from guy's name. And that'll read the screen. It's kind of a third-party app for the Mac.
Okay.
Yeah,
So only that is a solution currently. No any other thing
not
from
that I
native
know of. Not that
Apple.
I know of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
This is
Uh-huh.
Kenny.
Yeah, Kenny.
For the captures, is there? I don't know if there's like a choice for an audio challenge.
Yeah, on Google there should be. I mean, for Google, not all websites do audio or have an accessible one, but I think Google does.
So, a couple of things with CAPTCHAs is yes, there should be an audio one in most cases. The only
Not
time
always.
the only time I personally ran into a non-audio option lately was when Discord several years ago. But a lot of times, what sites also have is they detect the screen reader, and so it'll ask you to check the box to confirm you're not a robot. And so that'll often bypass CAPTCHA too, so be on the lookout for that as well.
Yep.
Okay. A lot of our Indian websites, government websites, everything, that would not have audio captures. So that's the problem.
Okay. Yeah.
I did not know that JAWS could read CAPTCHAs because it never used to, so.
When you Herbie OCR, and that's
Right.
been iffy. It's always been able to, ever since you've done OCR. And
Well, yeah, I thought it would be iffy because a lot of times the CAPTCHAs are matching pictures to pictures as well anyway.
yeah,
so.
but they're often a series of random letters and numbers. So
Yeah, and if the OCR was not reading in Windows, we had Be My Eyes. So we would read by Be My AI.
okay. I don't know if you can get any of the yeah, could you download Be My Eyes as an iPhone app on your Mac? I don't know.
Find out with the App Store demo, won't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else?
This is Kenny. A great demo on the Safari. Is there a way to, if you have another browser, to like export your, they used to be called favorites, bookmarks?
Yeah. Well, I know Safari had a couple options for importing stuff.
So this is Herbie.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the case of Chrome, what I did is a long time ago is, I turned on the iCloud bookmarks so it would sync over that way. Because I'm going to just sync the bookmarks to Safari. And so, like, even before I ever got my Mac, my phone, and PC were already in sync with each other.
Right.
was-
What?
That was through Chrome or iCloud, or I didn't know that iCloud had a bookmark feature.
Yeah, so there was a program for iCloud for Windows, and one of the things that you could check was iCloud bookmarks, and you had to install an extension.
Oh.
But yeah. Would
Is
you
it still
use any?
iCloud for Windows?
Yeah, you have to get it from the Windows store though.
Okay, I can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is it I guess accessible on that as the Mac? Or?
It's not quite it you can still get around and check and uncheck things, but it's not I don't know, it's not quite the experience. iCloud on the Mac, of course, is always going to be better, but
Yeah, that's why I like the Dropbox. It seems to be very accessible on Windows, and I'm hoping it is.
oh yeah, once
on the
you
Mac.
get Dropbox on your Mac, it works great.
Yeah, I still want to move the folder to an external drive on the Mac. I haven't found the preferences yet.
The Dropbox preferences?
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't you
So,
just go ahead, Herbie?
so with Dropbox, so this one is one of those apps that breaks the rules a little bit. Because you can't actually get to the Dropbox preferences with Command comma. You have to get to it from the menu extras.
I don't think he has it installed yet on his Mac. And also,
Right.
with Dropbox, you just copy. So if you're using your Dropbox on Windows, you just copy the folder with Command C and then go to your external drive and do Command V to paste. Or
Oh, no,
Control
I
V,
wanted-
whatever.
Not if you're storing your files offline, but he wants the folder to be. He wants Dropbox to
I
run
want
in his external.
targeted. Yeah, I want the targeted place to be.
Oh, I see.
And that's why I was talking about the menu extras, because that's where you'll go on the Mac to reset the folder location.
Yeah.
You know, you mount a drive. Like I have a 4 terabyte external.
Yeah, so once you install Dropbox, you'll go. So how do we get to our menu extras class?
Do vo shift mm
Just VOMM.
VOM. Okay.
Yes. So you'll see Dropbox as one of the menu extras, and then you'll VO space on that, and then you'll down arrow to preferences. And so, like I said, Dropbox, it has its own, because it runs as a folder, you have to get to the preferences that way. So, but you'll be able to change the drive location from there and do all the other things you can do with the preferences and whatnot. So.
All right. So, any other questions? All right. Well, this was just the Safari intro. We'll get into website browsing itself in 2 weeks. Herbie, do you have any announcements?
You know what? I do. But you know what? I'm going to be merciful and stop the recording here because, yeah. If I can stop it.
Here,
do
I'll.
this.
Or
Okay.
let's see if I do this.
I got it.